As you're still awake, maid, you should go and get her for me. You can't be serious, Lady Constance. The weather is none of my concern. It's precisely because of this weather that you should fetch her for me. Lizette will get ruined. She must be ruined already, surely. It hasn't been raining for that long. If you're quick about it, I'm sure you'll be able to save her. Lorena glanced out the window. The rain was still falling thick and fast and looked distinctly uninviting. This is ridiculous. If you send me out there, I'll catch my death of cold. And? Who cares about that? You're only a maid. I might be a maid, but I'm still a human being. I have a right to refuse. Oh? Lady Constance's eyes were cold and hard, like two marbles set into her skull. Every time this game is like, feel bad for Lady Constance, it turns around and goes, never mind, don't feel bad for her, and here's why. And it's just like, game, how dare you? Thunder rumbled ominously in the distance. The storm clouds were gathering thick and fast. You're refusing to help after you claimed, so very prettily, I might add, that we could be friends? I see how it is. It was nothing more than a crock of lies. Friends don't ask their friends to go out into the storm and wind and rain for small trifles. Then we're not friends. I knew that from the beginning. If we can't be equals and we can't be friends, you must be my maid after all. That being the case, you have to obey me. It's your job. Honestly, I wish he would, but I know this game is not going to go to that. No. I beg your pardon. What did you say? I said no, I won't do it. You might be Lady Leonard's daughter, but that doesn't give you the right to treat me so poorly. Oh, well, that's too bad. Then I suppose you won't mind if I tell my mother about your inappropriate relationship with the parlor maid. No such place as Bly in England. There is, however, a Blyborough. Oh, interesting. How do you know about that? I saw you. What? When? A couple of weeks ago, after I asked you to clean out that old guest bedroom. I hid around a corner after I left and watched you. I saw what you did. You were kissing. And so brazenly, too. I was quite shocked. Lorena's mouth opened, closed again. She could hardly breathe. Well then. Lady Constance's smirk deepened. I think you'd better get outside and start searching, don't you? Lizette isn't going to find herself. Lorena whimpered and held her hands above her head. Not that it offered much relief from the rain. You're both from England? Oh, that's dope! I've been to England once for a semester at college, but I loved it. It was fun. The rain continued to pelt down at her from all sides, whipped up by the wind into deadly projectiles. Lorena's hands and cheeks were already rubbed raw. Her hair curled against her cheeks and neck. Her uniform clung to each and every curve. Up ahead, in the jet-black sky, a peal of thunder cracked. It sounded closer than before. She had to hurry. Lorena had no desire to stay in the rain longer than necessary, especially with a thunderstorm brewing. Where was Lizelot? Was Lizelot even here at all? Oh, Lizette. Sorry. Where was Lizette? Was Lizette even here at all? What if there was no Lizette? West Midland, Birmingham, East Midlands, Leicester. Oh, cool! It was entirely possible that Lady Constance was spinning a tall tale, like spiders spin thread, just to get Lorena to go outside in this weather. It would be to Lady Constance's advantage, in fact, if there was no Lizette, for Lorena would have to search and search for an object she could never find. Her struggles would have no end, and she would keep looking like the good little maid she was until her fingers were chilled to the bone and she was washed away. Oh my gosh, game. Why? I'm sorry. I'm a stupid American. I don't know how to pronounce things. I'm really stupid. I'm sorry. Also, this art is too much. A bitter lump of anxiety rose up in Lorena's throat. It was most unpalatable, like a boiled candy 2 decades old uncovered from the bottom of a dusty chest of drawers. Lorena tried to swallow it down. She almost choked. Growing desperate, Lorena searched with heightened frenzy. She tore through the rose garden, her head snapping this way and that, eyes darting about anxiously until... Oh no. She'd found the doll, but she almost wished she hadn't. Hesitantly, the suffering maid took a few steps forward. The ground was slick with rainwater and she almost slipped, but she was able to right herself before she crumpled to the ground. Lester? Oh. Oh, like the serial killer. Like serial killer. Okay. But the spelling is so weird. Ugh. The flower beds were so infused with water they become nothing more than mulch. Sounds awful, and that's just the accent. The roses had taken a thorough battering, and their heads had been denuded? I don't know. Velveteen petals. And there, tangled amongst one of the rose bushes, was Lizette. The doll stared at Lorena with big, blue, unblinking eyes, even as the rain drummed insistently against those unnaturally fixed irises. This facsimile of a child cost more than a month of Lorena's wages. Just thinking about it made her feel sick. I'm not even going to try to pronounce things anymore that you guys are saying. I give up. She really is a monster. Lorena stared at the doll, or what little of the doll she could see, entwined amongst the roses, and her lower lip trembled. Lady Constance didn't expect her to reach into the thicket of thorns and pull the doll out, did she? But Lorena didn't have a choice. She was just a maid, and maids had to do what their mistresses said. That was just the way of the world. My, how unsightly. I'm not telling you to not say it or call it that. I'm just saying I'm gonna stop trying and fucking up. Marina's hair was stuck to her forehead. Drops of icy rainwater trickled down her nose. Her cheeks were flushed pink from the roaring wind, but the rest of her skin was ghostly pale, and that was to say nothing of her hands. If Lorena had been musical, she would never have been able to handle a string instrument ever again. Her fingering would have been shot to pieces. Oh, jeez, Louise! It was fortunate, then, that Tala was the one with the violin. Lorena's fingers had been pierced by sharp thorns in innumerable places. Blood and rainwater dyed the palms of her hands pale pink. Lorena clutched Lizette in her arms. The doll, too, was smeared with blood. Her blonde curls were matted with mud, and her eyelashes were so gummed together they would no longer close. Why on earth did you come in here, you stupid maid? You're going to get the carpet dirty. I know, but... If you know, why did you come back inside? You should have stayed out in the dirt and the mud where you belong. But I couldn't. The rain. I'd sooner you catch your death of cold than track dirt all over my bedroom, you fool. But you asked me, your doll. Oh, how very thoughtful of you. If you had an ounce more common sense, you might be halfway intelligent. What? Do you really think I want that doll now? Look at her. She's filthy, just like you. But you asked me to get her for you. Well, I don't want her anymore. What use could I possibly have with a broken doll when I have dozens of far prettier ones in my room? But you asked. Yeah, seriously. And I changed my mind. Is that so very hard to comprehend? Lady Constance snorted. Her eyes shone with cruel, callous amusement. I tried to give you a chance to redeem yourself, but there's no helping it. You really can't do anything right. An unpleasant smirk split across Lady Constance's face. It looked like an open wound. I'll tell Mother everything tomorrow. She deserves to know the truth. I'll tell her that you broke that vase, and I'll tell her that you threw Lizette in the rose bushes, and I'll tell her all the things you've been doing with the parlor maid. I'll tell her every last detail. Lady Constance, It's too late to beg now. I have no reason to listen to a maid, especially not a selfish, arrogant, hypocritical maid like you. But what did I ever do to you? I don't understand why you're being like this. Do you really have to ask? Lady Constance's face twisted. Lorena flinched. For a few moments, she worried Lady Constance might hit her. But the moment soon passed. Lady Constance sighed, suddenly tired, and dropped her gaze downwards. She never looked smaller, sadder, or more pitiable. I never say that word right. You don't understand how I feel at all. Why does it fucking matter? You're cruel. You're absolutely cruel and heartless. Tala, who was framed in the doorway of her small bedroom, stared at her unexpected visitor in surprise. The hallway was dark. The wind continued to whip about the rose bushes, and the rainwater sluiced against the window panes. Yeah, Tail, America's stupid too. Arkansas should look and sound like Kansas. But it's not Arkansas. It's Arkansas. For no good reason. And we have through. And other stupid things like that. And just, the English language is difficult. And it's my only language. The American English language, I should specify. Against the window. Okay. The windows rattled. It almost sounded like ghosts. Hundreds and hundreds of ghosts, and pressing their pale palms against the window panes, begging to be let in. But the vision standing before Tala, shivering, was much more concerning than any ghost could have been. That isn't you, is it, Lori? Lorena sniffed. Her head was bowed. Her eyes shone with unshed tears. Or maybe it was residual rainwater. She was cold. She was cold all the way down to her bones. Oh, goodness. I leave you alone for a... What the fuck was that? Excuse me. I leave you alone for a week, and everything goes to hell. What happened? It... I love the English language's ability to shank other languages in an alley and rifle through their pockets for words. I have no comeback for that. I don't. Lorena's chest hurt. For a few moments, she worried she might burst into tears. I know we had a disagreement, and maybe you don't want to talk to me. You're probably angry with me, and I don't want to get in your way, but I didn't know who else to turn to. I can't go back to my room looking like this. The other mates would ask questions. I don't want them to ask questions. I can't see them now. Not like this. Pauline would gloat, so I know she would. Only she has the audacity to act like she's concerned. She doesn't know how to feel concerned for any living being other than herself. Lorena was working herself up into a temper. She knew she was, and agitating herself in her current state would only sap a little of her strength that remained. She averted her eyes and glanced down at the ground. I might be asking you a lot, but even if you hate me, would you let me in? Please? Oh, never mind that now. Huh? I don't hate you, silly. I couldn't... Why am I I've lost Tala's voice. Hold on. I keep trying to do terrible accents, and that's not what I'm intending to do. It just keeps coming out like that. Tala, Tala, Tala. I don't hate you, silly. I could never hate you. Goodness knows I've told you enough times. But you said... What I said before no longer matters. Kane, listen, I didn't try. I legit did not try. It came out like that, and I'm mad at myself, so don't even. Come in, you silly goose, before you catch your death of cold. That's like their favorite phrase, isn't it? Death of cold. Tala ushered Lorena into her room, her eyebrows creased with concern. Perhaps it was no thanks to the rain and the foul weather, but Tala's room looked far darker than usual. Not even the 2 candles burning by her bedside offered much relief from the gloom. Never upper-class London housewife. No, I'm hitting that accent perfect. Let your interpret. No, as soon as I try, it's gonna be awful. It's not gonna work. Whenever I do it by accident, people are like, oh wow, cool. But then when I actually try, it's like, it's awful. Not even the 2 candles burning by her bedside offered much relief from the gloom. Lorena tried to steady herself, but no matter what she did, her trembling didn't cease. Why am I talking so fast, too? She shivered like a little leaf in a storm. The 4th of July is gone. Let the rebellion die and rejoin the empire. We won't even tax the tea that much. Bro, but I love my tea! Alright, King. The navy, the king, the country, the empire. Oh, gosh. Her hair was still wet. So was the rest of her. Beads of water ran down her forehead, tracking down to the tip of her nose. I'm sorry. Excuse me? I said, I'm sorry. The rain continued to fall outside. It had been raining for almost an hour, and there were no signs of it stopping. I don't want to get your floor dirty. As if I care about the floor. You don't? No, you little fool. I care about you. I said. I was mad with you, I suppose, for pushing me to sell my violin. But in retrospect, you weren't being so very pushy. You made sensible points. I was the one being foolish. I have a lot of pride, but even I can admit that much. I asked you to leave me because I feared I would snap at you, and I didn't want to. Not after what happened last time. I vowed I'd never take my temper out on you again. I was trying to keep my promise. I tried, but... Tala shook her head. I suppose ignoring you wasn't much better. Lorena's face crumpled. Her trembling lower lip, combined with her damp face and red cheeks, made it look like she'd been crying. Maybe she had. What with all the rainwater, it was hard to tell, even for Lorena herself. Oh, Lori, you didn't go outside in this weather, did you? I didn't want to, but... You did anyway? I had to. Lady Constance said... Of course. This would be the work of that brat. Yes, she wanted me to get her doll, Lizette. She left her out in the rain. Oh, as if she cares about that. Lady Constance doesn't particularly like her dolls. She has dozens of them already, and she treats them just as poorly as she treats us. I know that. I'm not a fool. Sometimes I do wonder. You can be so cruel. Not as cruel as Lady Constance. How could one little girl be so very wicked? Tala shook her head. For a few moments, her eyes looked curiously shiny. But she was soon able to compose herself. Why in the world did you obey her orders? You should have refused. I tried. I couldn't. She's only 12 years old. But she's also a lady, and I'm a servant, and I know what happens when servants talk back to their betters. Nothing good comes of it. You could call me foolish if you want, but I'm just doing what I must to survive. If I don't bow to that awful girl's whims, my livelihood will be on the line. But that doesn't mean I enjoy it. I hate it. I hate it so much. I can hardly stand it. But I didn't have a choice. I had to, because Lady Constance knows. She knows everything. Calm down, Lori. Deep breaths. Tala rested her hand on Lorena's shoulders. Her fingers dug into the damp fabric of the girl's maid outfit. What does Lady Constance know? She knows that me and you and us, she knows what we've been doing. Yes, Elmac, go ahead. I don't think it's getting bigger, but it definitely looks more prominent right now. It was enough to shock Tala into silence. It's filled with water from the rain. Explain it to me clearly, Lori. How does she know? She saw us kissing in the hallway before we went to clean out her new bedroom. I wonder how much she saw exactly. I don't know. I don't want to know. It all amounts to the same thing. You're right, of course. Holding hands, kissing, or worse. It would all amount to the same thing. Tala shook her head. But if she really did see us, why didn't she play this card earlier? I don't know. It didn't matter either. Lorena had no time to try and fathom the inner workings of Lady Constance's brain. She could sooner have taken apart a grandfather clock. But now she knows, and I know she knows, and Lady Constance will ruin me. She'll ruin us. Come tomorrow, I won't have a job here anymore. I'll be driven out again. Oh, my little Lori. I know this won't make any difference, but I'm really sorry. And the older woman sat Lorena down beside her on her bed and pulled her into an embrace. Is this gonna be bad? No. Okay. Oh, this is cute! This is cute as hell! If embracing a girl who bore a striking resemblance to a waterlogged corpse was an unpleasant experience, Tala didn't comment on it. She continued to hold Lorena close, one arm around her side. Maybe it was her way of apologizing. What are you doing? This won't help anything. It won't, but it will make you feel better. Dale, you're too much. That's awfully confident of you. My confidence is well deserved. I never disappoint. Tala prodded Lorena's cheek. The younger maid giggled despite herself. See, you do feel better. What was that? Maybe a little. Why does Tala look younger than Lori? I don't know. Good question. She's technically older. But I don't know. I think that's like, because she's like that exotic woman who looks like really young, but isn't. Maybe a little. Maybe a lot. But if you hold me like this, you're gonna get wet. I don't care. It would make a nice change for... I need to... Mouth, what are you doing? Stop it. I don't care. It would make a nice change for once. Lorena pouted. Are you trying to suggest I'm not enough to satisfy you? I don't take it too seriously. I'm just joking. Tala pressed a kiss against Lorena's temple. And I really am sorry, my little Lori. I didn't want to get you in trouble. That was the last thing on my mind. The very last. I don't think the hairstyles are that complicated. Yeah, the earrings are kind of off, but we're just gonna ignore that. Well, you saved me when it came to the vase. Perhaps this was fate. God works in mysterious ways. You'd know that if you ever deigned to go to church. But alas, I cannot. Because you're not an Englishwoman? I'm every bit as English as you are. I fear I'm so sinful, however, I would melt the very moment I crossed the threshold. The sad thing is, that's probably true. Oh, hush. Tala pressed another kiss against Lorena's temple. They let her head rest against the younger maid's. Lorena's hair was still damp. It clung to her skin like pondweed, but Tala didn't seem to mind. I don't know. If anything, the shivers that racked Lorena's body only encouraged Tala to hold her closer. You know, this might be a good thing. How could this possibly be a good thing? I know you like seeing me humiliated, but this is a bit too much. I don't mean like that. I mean, if you leave Bly, there's no reason for me to stay. Then you... I've wanted to make a fresh start for a long while. This is enough motivation, I think. But how will you afford it? I think we both know the answer to that. But your violin, isn't it precious to you? It is precious. But what of it? It's only an instrument. Just wooden strings. It can be replaced. Tala tried to sound unaffected, but her voice caught in her throat. Lorena heard it. You don't need to act so unconcerned, you know? Who said it was an act? I do. I can tell. You're upset, aren't you? Kane, stop. Tala says she's born here in England, but I think her father is from somewhere. I don't know. No, the violin's from Croatia or something, but I don't know where her dad's from. I'm assuming Japan, but who frickin' knows? Well, a heavy exhalation of air forced itself from Tala's lungs. Of course it upsets me. If it didn't, I wouldn't have been so snappish with you earlier. But there are more important things in life than my violin. Like what? Like you. You've known me for 6 months. You've had that violin for years. Maybe so, but I'm an intelligent woman. I'm capable of making my own decisions. I have decided, in my infinite wisdom, that I want you, Lori. Ah! I can't handle this. This is so gay. Ah! I want to stay with you no matter what you or anybody else might think. Nothing can change my mind. Not when I've decided what I want. You really are possessive. Indeed. Is that a problem? I suppose I don't mind. Not when it's you. She supposes she doesn't mind. I'll have to test this. Tala placed her index and forefinger beneath Lorena's chin and tilted her head upwards. Lorena closed her eyes obligingly, her lashes matting together. The two kissed idly for some time, pressed close together. Tala's fingers dug into Lorena's side while Lorena threaded her fingers to Tala's hair. I can't read this seriously anymore. I'm just like, ah! Lorena would never tire of Tala's hair. It was silky and smooth, completely free of knots, despite its impressive length. Lorena had no idea how she did it. Lorena's own hair was a bird's nest, forever infested with split ends and stubborn, knotty patches that seemed to reject hairbrushes. Oh, my little Lori. What is it? I missed you. I missed you too. I missed holding you and kissing you and admiring your beautiful body. Speaking of which, you should probably take off your clothes. What do you mean? You're dripping wet. You'll catch your death of cold. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Do you really enjoy kissing me that much? I can't help it. You're distracting. Then I'll keep my lips to myself while you undress. Alright, fine. Rena untied her apron and let it fall to the floor. Next, her fingers moved to the buttons of her black dress. She undid 1, then 2, then 3. Am I? Oh, up. Censor! Censor! You guys are too much! Ah! Thanks for the warning, though. Ugh. Just why this game? Why? I give up. Ugh. Alright, I'm just trying to skip through this dialogue. Wow, they really like each other. Wow, great. Isn't that wonderful? Oh yeah, I'll let you know, Kane. Wow. Holy crap. Good thing the censor bar's up. Also, thank you for the follow. Bye, I'll let you know later. Oh, God, it got worse, guys. You can't see it, but it got worse. Wow, they love each other so much. Yep, and their hair looks good. Yep. Yeah. They're lying down. Zoe, I swear to goodness. Stop it with the carpet. No. Haha, we're so cleany. Haha. What if we had an estate? Wow, that is a lovely thought to have. I need to send money to my family. I want to follow you, but I don't think I can. I'll need to find employment and stuff. Doesn't that suck? And then Tala's like, hey, it's okay. As a duchess, I can give you money. But I'll never be able to repay you. You repaid me more than enough with your love. And I would like to meet your family. Wow, this relationship has escalated. But would I introduce you as my girlfriend? Would your family not approve? I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. They'd be surprised, but I think they would accept it. Alright, bye, Tail. We could always introduce ourselves as friends to your family. But then, I don't want them to think I'm ashamed of being with you. It's okay. You're a girl after my heart. Didn't I already have it? Good point. I'm sure there'll be questions and stuff, but that's okay. We'll get through this together. I really want to meet your family because they sound super interesting. Okay, bye, cat. Seriously, stop scratching at the carpet. My gosh, that's so much dialogue. All I have is my mother. Like, Tala only has a mom. She doesn't have, like, a dad or siblings, I guess. Oh, why don't you tell me about your family? I don't like talking about my past, but since you asked so nicely, let's talk about it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Cool. This seems like a good place to stop for now, so we're gonna do that.